Kay.
I'm JR.
And today, and we also have our little one here, since we're in a different place now. He can't sit behind us, so we just wanted him to say hello to everybody.
Yeah.
He's got his nice little haircut. Hello from Sparrow.
That's Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yes, Captain Jack Sparrow. But we wanted to have him say hello to everybody today. But we are going to go ahead and get into our holidays first. And on today, which is May 10th, is National Shrimp Day, National Clean Up Your Room, National Washington Day, and World Lupus Day.
And then we have Tuesday, which is National Hostess Cupcakes Day, National Eat What You Want Day, National Twilight Zone Day, and National Foam Rolling Day. You should eat what you want every day, but in moderation.
Right. And Foam Rolling Day is the foam rollers that you rub on to relax, to relieve muscle aches when you work out. Things like that.
After stretching.
Right. Stretching and working out, exercising. Then on Wednesday, May 12th, is National Nutty Fudge Day. I love fudge. National Limerick Day, National Receptionist Day, and National School Nurses Day.
And then on Thursday we have National Apple Pie Day, which y'all can have that. National Frog Jumping Day. Sorry y'all, I got bad eyesight. International Hummus Day, is that it?
Yeah, hummus.
And Children of Fallen Patriots Day.
Right. Then on Friday, May 14th, is National Buttermilk Biscuit Day, National Chicken Dance Day, National Decency Day, and National Underground American.
When I worked for a skating rink, that chicken dance was like...
Oh, yeah. Weddings, too.
Yeah.
It's very popular at weddings.
Saturday, we have National Chocolate Chip Day, National Armed Forces Day, National Learn to Swim Day, and Spring Astronomy Day.
Mm-hmm. And then on next Sunday, on May 16th, is National Barbecue Day, National Honor LGBT Elder Day, National Sea Monkey Day, and International Day of Light.
Which, I don't know.
It's kind of doing for others. All country, there actually is some efforts going on right now to unite countries to help out the poor, help out other people, and to spread light and happiness around the world.
Okay, got it.
So, the other thing we are going to start talking about is, where is it? There we go. I don't know why I did that. The first is a good news story. We're going to do a couple of good news stories and then a funny story. This good news story is about a landlord in Atlanta, Georgia. She was getting reports that a lot of her tenants couldn't pay their rent. Even when the moratorium was over, a lot of her tenants weren't going to be able to pay their bills and things like that. So she started a GoFundMe and was able to raise $9 million to help out 3,000 families in the Atlanta area.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I did. She was able to help out 3,000 families in the Atlanta area to be able to keep their home or apartment.
I didn't even see that. I mean, a lot of that, the pandemic has caused
It's caused heartache for a lot of people. It's caused not just heartache, but financial problems with poor people with, just trying to pay their bills. They can't work. People are starting to go back to work, but wages are still very low and they can't catch up.
One of the people that we follow, he's a comedian. I'm not gonna mention his name yet.
Right.
He started doing tours and concerts, and he was in Texas, and I saw an Instagram story where he said, people are just sleeping on cold concrete in front of stores on the streets.
Right.
I mean, he says that if he ever complains about small things, just kick him in the head because
right.
I mean he's seeing what's going on, and
right.
It shocks him to see how these people are. Laying in the street,
right.
laying on a cold concrete.
Right.
So I mean,
and that is one of the main reasons that we wanted to look for stories like these, is to show that not everything is bad, and there are some people who are trying to step up and help out other people.
Right.
This story is about a Good Samaritan who drove past the house and thought he saw he thought he saw flames, or he saw smoke coming from the second floor of the house. So he called the fire department.
Where's this at?
This was where was it? In Collington, Delaware.
Oh, okay. Because I've never heard of Collington. That's why I was like,
right. It's in Collington, Delaware. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, or Maryland. It's right outside of Baltimore.
Oh, gotcha.
And he saw smoke coming out of this house, so he called the fire department to tell him he thought there was a fire at this particular address. So the fire department showed up, and there was actually a person inside trapped, and there was a fire. And they've been trying to find. The last time I looked, they have not found the Good Samaritan. They don't know who it was, but the person still called and saved the person's life, a man's life that was inside the house who was trapped.
When it comes to stuff like that, some people are torn or stricken about doing the right thing because. And this is my opinion. I don't know what they think psychologically. Right. Maybe they're afraid to get in trouble. Maybe they're afraid that if they do something, they're gonna have retaliation. Right. What if somebody intentionally set that fire to kill that person?
Right.
And that person called and stopped it. Right. So now that person wants revenge on them.
Right.
So
and
some people might think like that.
Right. And it was a man from the story that I read. And I will have these stories linked down below in the description so you can go read more about them. But it was a man who called, and they don't know who it was, but the person they say he saved somebody's life.
Right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with helping people, but
right.
They always say you can remain anonymous and all of this, but right. Sometimes you can't. I mean, sometimes it gets out.
Something like that, he wants to remain anonymous. He doesn't think it was a big deal. He just made a phone call, even though he did save somebody's life. To him, he just made a phone call. That's.
And you see, I thought before we started this YouTube channel, I thought about making my face anonymous where people couldn't see me,
right.
But I mean, I don't care. I mean, I'm not out here to hurt people. I'm not out here to have people come after me. I mean, yeah, it might happen. It might happen. I mean, I might do something or in one of our videos that might make somebody angry enough to have some kind of bad obsession with me.
Right.
You could have somebody have an attraction to you. It happens.
Right. This next story is in Florida, Saratoga Springs,
Oh yeah,
Florida.
I remember this one.
This is a case. She's a caseworker. She's worked with this one girl almost all her life. The girl
was like 13, 12,
13 years old. She became the girl became a foster child.
And she didn't like her caseworker at first.
Right. They did not get along. They hated each other. And then when she was 18 years old, the caseworker knew she was going to be aging out of foster care. She was not going to have any more support from the state. So the caseworker actually adopted her, and now they're mother and daughter.
They didn't get along at first, and it goes to show you that you can grow on somebody.
Right. And I mean, that caseworker, she, from everything that I've read, she's very good with all the kids that she watches over. She's very good about keeping up with.
If we had the space, I would be a foster, like to help kids that need, like if the homes were overwhelmed,
right,
and they didn't have enough room, and they needed somebody to foster them.
But it takes a lot to be a foster parent. I do know that my aunt and uncle were foster parents, and you have to go through classes.
Right. But if we had enough room and space, and we were able to go through all of that,
right?
It's just like, I mean, you can become hooked and want to adopt that child, but sometimes it's the same thing with animals.
It also can make you feel good that if you can find the right home for these
kids,
if
you can help them get into the right place,
help them get adopted, help them get them, and try and get them off the streets. I know that this particular caseworker in Florida, what was her name? Leah Peskin. I don't even want to try and butcher her name, but she's very. She tried to get kids off the street. She tried to help the kids as much as possible. The kids that she looked over.
And like I said, when it comes to helping people, kids or adults, you can only go so far, and till if they gotta want to at least meet you at least a little bit,
right?
Because if they're resisting,
but they also need to know that you're on their side and you're trying to help them.
In very small cases, though, you no matter what you do, you're not gonna get through to them.
Right.
It's very.
But it takes a lot of patience. Right. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of consistency on the caseworker's point of view to stick with it and to make sure that these kids know they're not just a number, they're not just a check or something like that. That these kids actually matter, and that from what I read about this particular caseworker is that she is very good with the kids that she watches over, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to kind of bring her to light today, is to let there are some good people in the world. There are people in the world who want to help other people. So.
I'm always the type of person that tries to pass on advice or information or anything I can do
right
to, and it doesn't matter if they take what I give them and use it or not.
Right.
Even if they just listen, I feel better.
Right.
You listen, you take whatever advice you want from it, and hey, you make your own choices.
And then the last story is a funny story that you found.
Yeah, I read this about a week or two ago. I don't know when
it was. March 27th is the day.
But I came across it like about 2 weeks ago, and I just thought it was funny because these Costco shoppers saying that these ravens are swooping down and taking stuff out of their basket when they come out the store, and it's like,
I know, and I mean the birds, they're perched up. It's not there's not a whole lot of things that you can do to try and stop them. But we thought it was a fun. I think.
Yeah, he was packing his groceries in his car, and then he turns around and ravens just they steal his short ribs from his car. I mean, it's raw meat,
right? So
they're going to steal it, and I wouldn't be surprised if this happens more often than not across the world.
I know.
Even before COVID, I mean, because they're ravens, crows, hawks, eagles. They're predators. In this area, and they eat raw meat.
Right. In this area, we have crows and we have seagulls that, if there is any kind of food in the parking lots, they are swarming around.
Right.
If people, put bread or something, I know the Walmart that we go to, if somebody leaves any kind of food out in the parking lot, there are seagulls everywhere. And I don't think I've ever seen them try to get to somebody's basket.
But I just thought of something that's real funny but not funny. What if you got two people next to each other packing up their groceries, and both of their backs turned?
Right. They look down.
And one of their short ribs is gone. They might think that the other one stole it instead of a bird.
Or put it away. Right.
Right. But how many fights could be started because of that?
Right.
And the birds don't know. The birds don't know it's gonna cause a fight. They just want the food.
The birds just want to eat.
I mean, you turn around, your ribs are gone. You see somebody next to you. What if somebody next to you happens to have meat in their basket?
Right.
And there's it in there, and you're like, wait, you just took my ribs. Why'd you take? It's like
you can start arguments.
Right.
Definitely.
So I mean, it's crows and ravens and eagles and and hawks.
We got some hawks around here too. We had hawks in the park next door. I mean.
Yeah, well, hopefully we don't see that 4-foot alligator that's around the corner.
I know. Yeah, I don't have that one saved.
We'll talk about that later.
There's less than, not even a quarter of a mile from here, right that way. There was
in the canal.
An alligator in the canal.
Like 4.5 feet.
Yeah. So but the main topic.
Just think if we walk out and open the door and
see an alligator. Well, we have 2 fences, but we've seen that they can climb fences. I don't think they climb
the big one.
But they can go onto the big one. The tall one, it has a big gap. That's why there's a small one.
Next video, I'm gonna find that video clip that I found of an alligator actually climbing a 2.5-foot fence. He walked over it.
I've seen alligators climb fences.
Took him a few minutes.
It's chain link. We have chain link fences here, and alligators can climb chain link fences. If they want to get somewhere, they will find a way to do it.
All right.
But our main topic today is we've seen a lot of stories recently about divorces because of the pandemic, and people, their relationships go wonky and crazy and horrible since the pandemic because they're home with each other and things. And since we've been together, we've both been disabled. We haven't worked. I mean, we both worked before we got together, but since we've been together, we've both been on disability, and we haven't had jobs.
Well, I got on disability before I met you.
Right. Well, I had applied for disability. Right. I got it a few years after we got together, but we haven't worked since we've been together. And for the first 2 years of our relationship, we lived with his uncle, and we slept on a sofa. We had an L-shaped sofa, and we slept on the sofa. His mom had a bedroom. His uncle had a bedroom. And we spent 24/7 together. And for a while, it was okay. I had a laptop that I spent a lot of time on. He spent a lot of time on his phone, and we watched TV. But towards the end of the 2 years, when I was getting close to getting my disability, we were really getting on each other's nerves.
I don't know, because I honestly don't realize when I do things. So.
But we were getting on each other's nerves. We were bickering and like.
So you're saying, in your personal opinion, that if we would have still been with my uncle after that, we probably would have been.
I think we would
have been separated.
No, I think we would have, like we did when we moved here, we would have figured out a way to kind of separate. And that's the whole topic that we wanted to talk about, is when we moved here into this house. It's a 3-bedroom house. We have a decent-sized living room. Our bedroom, you've seen our bedroom. It's a decent-sized bedroom. And when we moved here, we kind of we had the discussion and made the point that during the day, we would be separate. At first, I have a small office, and I'm going to put a picture in, to show that I have a little small office in the living room, and it's next to the TV and stuff. We have a Chromecast,
Fire Stick,
Amazon Fire Stick, and a Roku stick.
Well,
the Roku is in your mom's room.
Right.
And then we also have an Xbox, and we have the computer in the bedroom. And the thing is, we made a point of having the conversation that during the day, we would be separate. Except like when we start the YouTube channel and we do this. But during the day, he's in the living room. He watches TV. He watches we have UVerse, AT&T UVerse. He watches UVerse. He watches
movies,
DVR.
whatever.
And stuff. And then we also have the computer that's in the living room that he will, if he wants to get on the computer, he does things on the computer. I'm typically in here. We have the Xbox in here. I have the computer in here that I do YouTube. I can turn on the Xbox, which has all the different apps and things. I can watch YouTube. I can play games and stuff on the Xbox. And I stay in here, and we stay separate. Now, if we have, one of us sees something we think the other one would like, we'll have the conversation. When we do our afternoon walks, we go on a walk together. But what we try to do is stay separate.
Right. And I just don't get how people can't realize that. We were talking about this yesterday, and I think that people intentionally get on each other's nerves,
right,
just because they want to rise out the other person.
Right.
Now, I've been known to do that a time or two. So have you.
Yeah.
But not enough every day.
Right.
Between us, because I wholly believe that you could live in the same house.
Right.
And do your thing during the day.
Do things separately.
And and not worry about what the other one's doing. And then 5 o'clock comes. That's our time to watch TV, talk about things that we want to talk about. Sometimes we don't even talk. We just watch TV, like our shows that we DVR.
Right. I mean, sometimes we don't talk during the day much at all. I mean, I'll save a story on the computer if I see something I think he'd be interested in. He'll save on his phone, and then at about 5 o'clock, we come in the room, we watch news, we watch Jeopardy. We are huge Jeopardy fans.
5 days a week, 6 to 6:30 is our phones down and Jeopardy.
We don't do anything but watch Jeopardy. Right. At 6 o'clock, when that comes on, we watch Jeopardy.
Unless, we couldn't
on occasion, when we are out and we can't get home for 6 o'clock, there has been a few times.
Right.
We do have DVR.
Yeah, like Thursday when we had to bring a friend across the river.
Right.
We didn't realize Biden was in town, and
Biden came to New Orleans.
We didn't get to our evening gym session until like 5:45.
Right. But
things like that happen.
Right, and then we make
That's why I love the DVR.
Right. We make a point to have separate things going on. That's why him and my son are both into investing right now. They could talk about that. He loves certain shows that I particularly don't like. He loves watching ID channel that I don't particularly like watching. But he does his thing, and then I do my thing. And then in the evenings, in the afternoons, we'll have dinner. Sometimes we have dinner together, and then we watch news, we watch Jeopardy. We have so many certain shows that we DVR, and we watch the DVR together. And we do things like that together so that we're not together and getting on each other's nerves all the time. We also have made a point from the first time we started talking, because we met online, and when we first started talking on the phone, we both made a point that no matter what the topic, we would always talk about things.
Right.
Communication to us is very, very important. We've both been in relationships before that there wasn't a whole lot of communication and it caused problems. And we made a point of, even if we know it's going to be uncomfortable or if it's going to be irritating, because we have different points of views on a lot of things. We have different opinions and different views on a lot of different things. And it can cause not arguments, but discussions. And we have a lot of different discussions. And it's important to us to talk about things and to be honest with each other as well.
It's always healthy.
Even when it's uncomfortable, we still try to be honest.
If it's a marriage, no matter if it's a marriage, friendship, siblings, mother, daughter, uncle, niece, nephew, cousins, if you got a close bond with that person, it's always healthy to have discussions, because you never know, if you don't discuss it, how somebody's feeling about something or how somebody's interpreting something. Because we've said this before, I have a tendency to not use my words correctly,
right?
And it can cause.
It still causes issues and stuff. But then
it could cause you to
right.
not get what I'm
noticed,
saying.
I've noticed. I mean, I'll get my feelings hurt at first, and then I'll say, okay, wait. I took it as you're saying this. Is this what you meant? And I'll try to bring it to your attention that I took it wrong, or I heard right.
I can give you an example. The other day when we left the gym and we stopped at Family Dollar because I went to look for something, and I asked if you was coming in, and you said no, and I said in a jokingly voice, but it sounded serious, no pain, no gain.
Right.
And you took it as.
And I took it as you're saying I'm not doing enough, even though I had been on my feet almost all day long. My feet were hurting, my back was hurting, and Wednesday wasn't the greatest day because I had done a lot. I was going all day because we had shopped that day as well. We had gone shopping, and a lot of times I will take something wrong, especially when it comes to working out. I will take it wrong because when I was growing up, I was always made to feel like I wasn't doing enough for my weight loss and for things like that. And I know my initial reaction is to overreact, basically, and I will take it wrong, and then afterwards it's kind of like, okay, after I get my feelings hurt and I sulk for a minute, it's like, wait, is this what you meant? This is how I took it. This is how I heard what you said.
And I mean, I know I have a habit of not using my words the right way. I don't know. It's basically, I wouldn't say no filter. I have no filter, but I also don't. Sometimes you don't put the words together right. Right, and I'm known for that. But it's good to have.
But then, and I mean, I know I take it wrong at times, and I'll sulk and I'll get upset and or I'll cry or something because I'm very, very emotional. You know this, I'm very emotional, and I'll cry, and then I'm like, okay, wait, you'll see me cry, and you're like, okay, what did you take wrong, or what did I say that upset you? And then when I say it, it's like, no, I meant it this way, and it's like, okay, right. And I know I had that problem, and my initial reaction is always to go inside and sulk, but then I will eventually come back to you and let you know, okay, wait, is this what you meant? And you're like, no, that's not what I meant. That's not how I meant it, you know? And we both do that.
And if you don't do that, if you don't have to do it right. You don't have to do it right away.
Go back and talk about it. It will cause animosity between the two people.
Like when we watch some of these comedians and they do their stand up and they talk about their marriages and things in marriage, and they make jokes about it, and they say, oh, your girlfriend or wife, man, you do something, she'll save it, and then another argument a year later she'll bring it back. You remember that time?
Right. And
that's all fun and all. That's all fun and all.
I know that's jokes, but there are people who actually do that. I know. There are, especially women.
Some things it's okay to bring up.
Right.
Like if it's something to help remind you to to, like, for instance, if you're trying to improve your life, for instance, like if you made a slip up right now, and you,
especially with diet,
and you ate something that caused you to have problems, dumping syndrome, or sick or throw up, and then a year later you went to go do that same thing, and I reminded you.
Right.
Something like that is okay.
That's different,
to bring up, because it's helping you to remember. Like, you might not remember what happened when you ate 2
how
cupcakes,
I felt and stuff like
and then a year later you might, okay, well, I want to try 2 cupcakes, and I would be like, babe, remember how you felt, so take your chance. I will leave the decision up to you, but I will remind you what happened prior, what you happened. I wouldn't say don't eat them. I'd be like, look, a year ago you tried eating 2 cupcakes and it made you feel like crap. Do you really want to take that chance?
Right.
Certain things like that are okay to bring up.
Like that's
but
fine.
Nothing like, oh, you remember that time when you kissed that woman 2 years ago and it cost... No.
Right. I mean, throwing something back in somebody's face after it's over and you've talked about it, that I don't like. I know that a lot of women do it. Some men do it, but a lot of women do it, and that frustrates me so bad, because to me it's like, talk about it, get it over, it's done.
Right. Move on. I mean, you know what caused it. Like, I was reading in one of the support groups for the weight loss that this one woman asked about people's sex drive after weight loss surgery. Some of them said they never even had one before. Right. Some of them said they never had one after. Some people know it's because of hormones. Right. Some people said, a couple of months after. I don't think
mine has changed that much.
It all impacts people differently.
Right. And that's something to talk about. And I mean, I've seen a lot.
You got to talk about it, because it can bring intimacy issues.
Right. In the groups and stuff, I've seen a lot of women want to have the surgery and their husband doesn't want to support them and things like that. But that's something you have to talk about. You have to have a conversation. And I mean, I've seen so many times.
But honestly, in the end, I don't give a shit. I had the surgery for me, not for you. So
and I had
it's
surgery
good to talk about it. Right. It's good to talk about it, but it doesn't. Their decision.
We support each other and help the other.
But how they feel shouldn't make your decision based on your weight loss surgery.
Right. That's true. I mean, you shouldn't have it for them, but having the support is something that.
I mean, we've been together. We'll be together 6 years total coming up.
Yeah, in July.
And I've told you this numerous times and time again. I don't give a damn if we ever have sex again.
I do.
I know, but you're not.
I know. I
don't care. I mean, sex doesn't.
I know. We have more. Our relationship is much, much more than just sex.
We have
a friendship. We have a relationship. We have a partnership, and our entire lives are welded together. That everything, and we're friends, and our relationship is more than just sex.
Right, and sex is fun, sex is nice, sex is great, but my complaint when people say, "Oh, I want sex for 2 or 3 hours a day, 7 days a week."
Right.
Get the hell out of here. There's other things in life besides
There's so much more to life.
Now the weekends. Hey, you want to spend 3 hours on Saturday and 3 hours on Sunday having sex in the romp with your husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, same sex. It doesn't matter. Right. But during the week, it's
It's life. You have to have a life.
30 minutes in the morning tops.
Right.
Then let me get up, get breakfast, and go do what I need to do. Or let me go to the gym and eat breakfast. I want to go do things. I don't want to be, tied down, for 3, 4 hours. Well, I don't get tied to the bed. That'd be you. But anyway, another discussion. Sex is all great. I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
Right.
I'm not saying that, but it's not just all day. Right. You have. I mean, well, some people are addicted to it because they have actual actual groups.
There are people who want it all the time, and
I've even heard of people sleepwalking and having sex and not remembering. It's an actual thing.
Right. And I mean, that's not to us.
But no, communication and living in a small space. A lot of this stuff during the pandemic, which is the main topic we're talking about, is being able to
separate yourself, have your own alone time. And I mean, people with small kids, I get that kids.
And you can still split your time between the kids. Like you can say, okay, I'm gonna keep them in here with me for a few hours.
Right.
You do your thing, watch TV, play a game, read a book, read this, and then after 4 hours, we switch.
Right. And I mean,
unless the kid wants to run back and forth to, like if we had a 3-year-old and they wanted to run there and play with me, and then okay, well I'm gonna go see what mommy's doing, then I'm gonna go see what daddy's doing.
Right.
You can. There is ways that you can split
doing it, and I mean, you just have to have. I think the most important thing is the communication, Okay, now we're back.
Yeah, our dog was barking. He saw a cat in the park, and I wanted to pick him up.
Trying to
So
get him out the window, basically. But the main thing that we wanted to stress today is that if you're in a long-term relationship, communication is the most important thing to keeping a healthy relationship. And separation. You can't be up each other's butt all the time. You can't be together 24/7.
Some people make it work.
But
it's very
not,
rare. But
right.
people do
Honestly,
make it work.
But
It depends on their dependency.
Right, but they're mentally, though, you've got to have some alone time away from
two people that are dependent on each other, like say that has Down syndrome, and there two people have Down syndrome. They can make it work because they rely on each other because they both have the same.
And I get that, and I do, but
very rare. But people can do it.
Individual people need to have that little bit of alone time, even if it's in the same room. You put on a set of headphones and you meditate, or you listen to music, or you watch a video away from doing something separate than the other person. You need that. Everybody needs a little bit of alone time. Now, I like a lot of alone time, and so do you, but different people need different times, but you still need that time to reflect to yourself. So, but that's going to be it for today, and we would like you to like and subscribe. Leave us some comments. Some questions, any topics that you want us to talk about.
Yeah, reach out. Don't be scared.
Right. Leave us some comments. We would love, and I try to engage any comments that we get. I do answer back. I do talk about. I do answer, and I do respond to every comment that we get. So
yeah, raise your hand. See, like this.
Like and subscribe. Leave some comments. Our social medias are in the description box below, as well as those articles that we talked about, the Good Samaritans and the funny stuff. Those are also in the description below. So.
And my video that's going to be going up Friday is going to have some interesting stories, some odd or some strange stuff that I find.
Right. Yeah, mine is going to be on Wednesday, and I'm talking about manners. Adults, kids, manners. But I will get into that on Wednesday. I don't have manners. Yes, you do, but you just don't realize it because your grandmother taught you manners. So, but we will see you next week. Have a nice week. Bye-bye.